Beautiful day on the blacktop. Zothegoat. What's going on?
What's up with you? What's going on with you, man?
Man, we chilling today, man. What do you go by? Zo? The goat?
Zoe? Yeah, they call me Zoe.
Airbnb King?
You already know we here, man. Mrs. Zoe the Goat.
Mr. Zothegoat. Let's talk about your upbringing. I want to see what contributed to your character and personality today. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, Columbia, South
So,
Carolina.
what was your environment like?
Oh man, it was not the. I'm gonna say probably not the best. Like far as like what if you talk about financially wise.
Yeah.
You talking about living wise. Wasn't like rich and famous.
Yeah.
Mama was on welfare.
Yeah.
EBT. Daddy got killed, by the police when I was 8.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best,
Mm-hmm.
So I had to step up and be the man of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that it was the best because it shaped me to who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't be able to be the Zoe the Goat who I am right now,
Mm-hmm. Where'd you get your name from?
I had one of my friends, he was like, man, you the GOAT. So I was thinking of an Instagram name because I was starting to, getting on social media.
Yeah.
And I was like, Zoe, Alfonso. He's like, no, you the GOAT. Zoe the GOAT. I was like, yeah, I like that. I was
So
like, yeah, go
you just
with that.
ran with it, huh?
I just ran with it. I was like, somebody named me that. And he always one of the friends that kind of like always believed in me. Like he really like pushed me to really go on social media. He was like, man, Zoe, you got so much stuff, man. You need to show people like it's real. Like you need to show them like that you can really make money. You can really be out here like living your life. Like what you showing behind the scenes. Like people need to see this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you think so? He's like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Like show that stuff. Show it, man. Like show them driving around nice cars. You go to these nice places, man. I'm like, okay. Cause I was like always low key.
Yeah.
I was always like, scared of like showing people like.
He was quiet?
Yeah, really quiet. Like I feel like I ain't really had to like flex. Like I was like, okay, I'd rather be one of these millionaires or the guys who got money, and just low key with it. I always thought that was like cool,
Yeah.
But then yeah, he was like, man, you need to show that, man. Like people need to see this. Like I'm like, okay.
So, living with your mom and without a father, I seen in the interview that you said your family was very tight.
Right.
Do you still hold that bond today?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like family is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like family is everything. Cause I feel like you really. Some people don't really value their family until something happen. Till like they lose.
So it's taken away from them.
Yeah, it's taken away till they lose that time with that loved one. They can't never get back.
Mm-hmm.
With that father, sister, brother, cousin, whoever it is. So I still, to me, family is always number one. Like I don't care about. I ain't gonna say I don't care about money at all because it takes money to do nice things for your family and to help the world out.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, I'm with family all day because that's money, you can't put a price tag on that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, family holidays or birthdays or whatever if I can be there, I'm gonna be there as much as possible because I never want to take that for granted because I remember me losing my dad at the age of 8. I felt like even though I was a kid, I never like took it serious. Like, okay, that's my dad. Like, let me really spend some quality time and really just take it serious. Like, I was there, but I feel like if I can go back, I would be like, man, Dad, like really show him that I really loved him more, and I really appreciate him more because he was a good dad, good father. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So how did you navigate? How did you find your path to success when you were younger? Like, what was your niche? What'd you want to be? What'd you aspire to be when you were young?
It's crazy because I was an entrepreneur before I was an entrepreneur. Like I was selling candy in school. I was just always trying to figure out how to make money, cutting grass around the neighborhood, mowing, just working 2 or 3 jobs. Like always was making money or learning loving the way money flips. Like even started buying shoes, Jordans, and going flipping them, making a profit while I was working at fast food, working at Sonic, which was a fast food chain, like a burger chain, whatever. But I was always an entrepreneur, so I was like, I don't know where it came from, but I really think it came from just my dad being like a hustler, my mom being like a hard worker. it was that seed in me I always had, but it was just like I never knew I had it, but it was there, you know. And I started like seeing money turn, and then I got in real estate. And I was doing Airbnb now, but I always had it as a child. Had that gift of making money and love to see money being made. Like even these promoters used to come in town. They used to bring like Bootsy. They used to bring like plies through my city.
Yeah,
back, you know. Back in 2004, 2005, they were selling tickets sometimes for like $20. Like, hey, we got pre-sale tickets for $20. And then I peep game the day of the concert, the same tickets they selling for $50, $75. I was like, dang, what if I would have bought all those $20 tickets and I could have made I could have sold them for $50, made double. So I started doing that. I'm like, okay, every time they bring in an artist, I'm gonna spend whatever amount. When I'm at, if it's $1,000, $2,000, buy all these tickets. I already have my clothing store or whatever. I'm gonna sell the tickets in my clothing store. Or put on my you know, let the word out like, hey, Zoe got these tickets for sale, or Magic City. Well, my clothing store then was Magic City. Magic City. Hey, we got these tickets for sale. Yeah. You know, so I just love the way of seeing money turn, man. Like,
how were you coming out of high school? I seen an interview where you said you had a scholarship to college, and you wanted to be
I had
a nurse.
Free ride. I had a free ride because my mom was a single parent mom. So you know they had grants and stuff.
Like a program.
Yeah, like a program. Like so I was gonna be a nurse. I was gonna be an RN nurse because I wanted a career for myself. Like I wanted when I say career, not to be like, okay, I got to go to college, but I wanted to be doing something instead of doing nothing or doing the minimum. So I was like, okay, I could be a nurse. Because I looked up, like registered nurses, I don't got to worry about getting laid off. Like a male nurse back then, and probably still the same way now, the demand was still, it was high. Like, they looking for male nurses. So I'm like, okay, I could be a male nurse, go to school for 4 years, whatever, and have a good salary. But I read a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, by Robert Kiyosaki. Probably working at my fast food restaurant, deciding should I go to college or not. I was also had another job at the post office. So I had 3 jobs at one time. And everybody at the post office like, man, you need to go to school. You need to go to school. I was telling them like, man, I'm having a big debate with myself. Should I go to school or not? They was like, yeah, go to school. But somebody seen a hustle in me. And he was like, you need to read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah. The guy I used to buy shoes from. Yeah, he saw that hustle and he was like,
"What was his name? Love."
His name Love.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Love really was like my mentor, and I didn't even know he was my mentor. But he was my mentor. He the one that put me on real estate. He the one put me on Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He just saw the hustle me being like young and having that drive. So he really took me up under his wing almost. Like I could call him. We was kind of like friends too. Like I put him on different things, like But he was older than me. He was like maybe about 42 then. I was probably like 19 or 18.
Shit, he was my age. I'm 20. Shit.
Right.
When you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, going into college or having the outlook of going to college, what kind of steered you away and forced you into entrepreneurship? What'd you get from Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Basically, I got from Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that the rich don't work for money.
Yeah.
The rich don't work for money. And then he broke it down how the rich created all these laws for their advantages, tax laws and all these different laws. It made more sense to be an entrepreneur. It made more sense to be an investor. And I was like, hey, this confirmation that even in that book where he stated you don't need school to be rich. Like people think that because that's the old traditional way. I was like, this is why the people in the post office telling me to go to school because it's the old traditional way that's all they know.
That's industrial thinking.
Yeah, that they think that you got to be successful. You have to go to college.
Get a good job.
Right.
Retire 65. Get a Social Security. And
also, I didn't even understand that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that going to college that you got to take English 101 back over. You got to take math this back over. Not back over, but you got to like start back with
general ed.
General ed. And I was like, I want to get straight to the point to start making money. Like I don't want to go back with this stuff. And
So did you go to college or you didn't go?
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go?
I didn't go at all. Like I had my schedule and everything. I didn't go. I didn't even go. Like I was like,
they called you, say you gonna go? Like
nah, I'm out.
I'm at the house.
I'm about to start my business. Take all my money I saved up and start my business.
Yeah. So what business did you start?
I started my clothing store. It was actually a clothing kiosk.
Clothing kiosk?
Yeah, I started one kiosk in the mall.
Oh, in the mall?
Yeah, in the mall.
How'd that go?
It was good. Like, the guy I was working for,
he
was actually like, because that's one of my jobs. I was working at the post office. I was working at a fast food chain. and I was working at the kiosk too, like all the same time. Like I had 3 jobs at one time, like from sun up to sundown. For one of my jobs working at the kiosk in the mall, he was going out of business because I guess I don't know what was it, the finances. I don't know what it was, but when he was going out of business, I seen something he didn't see. I was like, he was selling like a lot of New York hats, a lot of New York gear. That was the time when Atlanta music was like just coming up. So everything was like T.I., Jeezy. So I was like, the Atlanta culture was coming up. So I was thinking like, you know what? He's kind of like missing out on the point of the new wave. The new wave is Atlanta. He was still stuck trying to sell New York type of gear. So I was like,
I
okay.
get what you mean.
I like the fashion. I love fashion. Let me go ahead and probably bring something different. And I already got the experience from working with him. So when he closed going out of business, he tried to sell it to me. I was like, the price he told me, I was like, I can really start my own business for this price. Like I'm not knocking for what he want, but I can start my own business, fresh gear, fresh everything, how I see it. And that's how I started like that, you know. And everybody loved it, bro. I was making more money than the stores, like more customers than the stores, because I had a lot of stuff they didn't have because I had a vision, and I saw stuff that my city needed that they didn't have.
What were your ups and downs with the clothing business, with the kiosk?
Ups and downs was really getting my customers. The down part, I'm gonna talk about the down because people don't talk about the down that much. I'm gonna talk about the down first. Was getting my customers so comfortable with me. Like I was working my business 7 days a week, a lot of times, sun up to sundown. I probably took a break, maybe 2 or 3 hours out of the day, maybe go home, take a nap, come back. But once I got my customers so good with me being there, so hooked on the customer service from Zoe, the experience from Zoe, how Zoe dressed me. They were so used to me being there. So when I decided to take a vacation 5 years from then, my sales wasn't the same because everybody was so used to seeing me. So I got people so hooked on seeing Zoe. So that was the down part where, hey, now my time is trapped like a regular job now, you know?
So your the down was getting your customers to get comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And what were your ups? My
ups was that I was able to like scale it and really make a lot of money at a young age. That was the up part. Like I was so like made 100,000 cash. Not talking about like gross, because people can like, okay, I can make a million. Like how much can you keep? Like I had 100,000 cash at the age of 21 because I was going so hard in my business. Like I was reinvesting the money every time I get it. I reinvest it instead of trying to pay myself. I was reinvesting my money right away. Like every time I make money, you know.
And you were reinvesting it back into the clothing?
Back into the business, back into the clothing business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back into like building it up until at one point I got another kiosk. Then I got another kiosk. Then I went to other malls. Then I had like 6 locations. You know. Then I started getting stores. You know.
So after the clothing business, what'd you venture off into?
Real estate.
What'd you learn from the clothing business that can contribute to real estate?
What I can learn, it was like the opposite, where real estate I didn't have to be there physically every day once I set up the property.
Because you got the cash flow.
I got the cash flow. Like somebody staying there I don't have to micromanage. I don't have to really create another property to make money from that property. That money's gonna make money every month from that same property. If I want to grow the business, I just gotta get another property. But it's not like the clothing business where I had to keep buying clothes to make money. You know, so I was like, this is what wealth is. This is what,
because they ain't making no more land.
Yeah, the God ain't making them on land for sure. Most definitely ain't making them on land.
Yeah. So you got into real estate, and what was your avenue in real estate? Like, did you start the Airbnb?
No, I didn't start the Airbnb. I didn't. It was crazy, man, because the things that I'm in now, it's like I never imagined being in them. Like I was like, okay, it look cool. It just feel like I stumbled across, and I was like, interesting. So, but I started like the guy Love. He put me on a long-term rental, like showing me like, hey, you can buy a property, you can flip it to make money, or you can keep it and rent it out every month. And then he was showing me like how to find out comps in neighborhoods, how to find out what all you got to do to get it right so it can be livable. So I was long-terming when I first long-term when I first got in real estate, buying property, you know, 50,000 cash. Maybe you got to put another 5,000, 10,000 into it. But you know the market was
rehab.
Yeah, the market was good. The market was going like how it's going now. How it looked like a lot of prices are dropping. So I can get a lot of houses that cost $100,000 for half the price, for $50,000. You know, rehab them and get a tenant you know, and pay for it in 5 years, pay for my money, my investment back in 5 years.
So you bought the house cash, and then you put tenants in them.
Yeah, I put tenants in them.
Okay, and how was that going?
Good, really good.
It was going well.
Yeah, really good because I was blessed to have like some, you know, like him that schooled me on the game, and some other realtors that saw what I was doing. They was telling me like, hey, this is how you find good tenants. This is what you say. Hey, look and see if they have a eviction. If they do got eviction, tell them you charge 3 times the deposit. You know, if they want their place, because like they are at a high risk. Like that's your policy. I'm like, okay, cool, makes sense. So they was teaching me on how to find people, like how to call their jobs and see if they really work there, how long they've been working there, to make sure they can afford the place. So I wasn't getting like bad tenants. I had like the teacher of the year stay there. I had like military, a lot of military.
So you had good tenants.
Because I knew how to find them and take my time.
Yeah,
you know, put them in my place.
Yeah, because that helps a lot. Yeah,
right.
It's hard to evict somebody, huh?
Right.
It's hard to kick their ass out.
Yeah, right. And then they in your place. A lot of times people they probably feel like they get evicted. They gonna trash your place. Most times I hear about these stories. But if you do your homework, you got that right person that's teaching you. You know, you ain't got to worry about those nightmares that much.
So after going into real estate, how'd you get into Airbnbs?
So I got an Airbnb. My wife was we both moved to, like, that was my girlfriend. And we both moved to New York because she sold her company. And part of the agreement was that she had to live in New York for a whole year. So she got fired within that 6 months. Like, they fired her from her own company, like the same thing they did with this guy who used to own Apple.
Steve Jobs?
Yeah, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs?
Yeah, Steve Jobs. I know Tim Cook running now.
Yeah.
But rest in peace, Steve Jobs. Like how they did Steve Jobs before, how they fired him from his own company, Apple.
That's crazy.
She did the same thing to my wife. Like, because now, you partner with these people. They can really tell you, like, hey, you're fired or not, because you technically, you work for them now. You work for the company that you started. So to make the long story short, my wife got fired. She was so upset. She didn't want to live in New York no more. We still had another 5 or 6 months left in the lease. And then I was going back and forth buying clothes from L.A., and then I ran into someone that was doing Airbnb in L.A. I didn't know what Airbnb was. He was like, hey, I'm doing Airbnb. I'm making a lot of money. I was like, dang, that's cool. This was like 2014, 15 or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was telling my wife, like, instead of us, trying to break the lease, what about let's try to put on Airbnb, this new site that's popular. Like, let's try to put on this site.
Oh, you got into it when it started popping.
When it was fresh.
That's
like when it was like a baby. Like,
what?
Yeah. So we put on Airbnb. We started making way more money because our whole thing was just make enough to pay the bills. It wasn't like, okay, we're gonna make this a business. We was like, just make enough for it to pay the bills. So we did it, and man, it was like it been crazy. Like, we made maybe about $2,000, $3,000 our first month profit, maybe, and we just started every month making profit, and then when the lease was over with, we just took all the stuff, sold it, and some stuff we moved back to Atlanta, and I was like, dang, I need to do the same thing, like get a nice spot, Airbnb it out.
But in order to get into that, you need good credit, though.
Nah, not necessarily. You don't have to have. We didn't have the best of the credit back then. Like, you just had to have cash. You got cash to put down on the place because most people don't have good credit. And a lot of these places they know, they just want to see income. Like, hey, can you afford it?
Yeah, income on paper.
As long as you ain't got like no bankruptcies or nothing crazy. A lot of times they don't care, but you don't gotta have the best credit. Good credit do helps, but you don't have to have it.
Because you teach credit though, right?
Right, I teach credit.
Yeah.
Right.
How does somebody like me who's 20 get started with their credit?
Really understanding and where you at right now with it. That's the thing about it is like go to these sites, go to Experian, go to Credit Check Total, go to Credit Karma, and these free sites most of the time, and figure out where are you at. Like, it would tell you like, hey, what's your credit history? Then you can go, once you go to your credit history, you can really see like, do you got good credit, or do you got bad credit? Or if you got bad credit, what can you do to remove some of these collections or late payments off, because they can be removed. But if you don't do nothing, they're going to stay on there for like a few years, and it's going to hold you back from achieving good credit. And then maybe you probably don't have no bad credit. Like, you probably just don't have no credit, which is still kind of bad credit in a lot of these creditor eyes. So, you can get trade lines or go get a secure credit card.
With your own money.
To start building credit.
That's how I started. I got went to Navy Fed, Put in 200, started spending my own 200.
Right, and
6
then you
months
paid on time.
unsecured. Yeah.
They give you a real credit card. Then all these other credit card offers come to your mailbox saying, "Hey, you're pre-approved for this. You're pre-approved for that." You know.
So is it hard to get into Airbnbs without money? What if you don't have the cash to get into it?
Yeah, so if you got the cash, you gotta have the credit. You gotta have some type of capital.
Yeah.
Unless you are a good, and rich, a lot of people are not. But unless you are a good networker, if you know somebody like, for example, with a house,
private
and
funding.
they ain't doing nothing with it, they like, man, I got a house just sitting. You can say, hey, let me take over. I'm gonna pay you this amount of money. Take over your property or take over your boat, your tree house. People got tree houses on Airbnb making money.
What?
Yeah, so take over your tree house that you ain't using, that you just use for pleasure or for leisure.
Yeah.
Take over that. I could pay you. You still can stay there when you want to.
Yeah.
And we can make money from it. So you don't have to have money and credit. Sometimes it just takes having brains, using your brain, using what you have to go get some money. You know, because like when I was selling shoes, I didn't always have the shoes on hand. I know the person who had the shoes, Love. He had all these shoes, these Jordans. He sent me the pictures. I go to the people that's working at my job, we selling burgers together. Yeah. I know they looking for shoes. Say, hey, you looking for this? I can get it for this price. He may sell it to me for $100. I may sell it to you for $150. I made a $50 cut, like the wholesalers do with the houses. You know, they probably got the money in the credit, but they know, okay, I can go get this person who want to sell their property or whatever. Yeah, and then I can make the spread. I make the profit. Yeah, you know, with the difference.
So, with the Airbnbs. Because you do interior designing as well.
Right.
How'd you get started with interior designing?
I think I get that from my mom. Like, she always was, like, one of the best.
Everything nice and everything?
Yeah, I get that from my mom. Keeping everything nice, decorating nice, like nice stuff. So I picked that up from her. Like, you know, light nice things. Like, fascinated with art, fascinated with colors and just, like, nice interior. So I took that from her, and I ain't never knew I had it until people started telling me, like, man, you did this? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, it's good. I'm like, oh, thank you. But I'm thinking it's normal. Like, this is how you're supposed to decorate. Like, but I had to realize it wasn't normal for the average person, you know?
So how can somebody maximize their income within the Airbnb, even though they're still getting it from, you know, the principal of the house or the apartment or whatever? Like,
yeah, so I feel like.
As far as, like, because I watched an interview behind the scenes with David Shands. Yeah. And he went to the Barbie one, the Barbie Airbnb. Right. And you had the flower thing. Right. And he was talking about the photo shoots and music videos and stuff like that. So get into that.
So that's a whole nother business. Yeah. Like, we was brought up like have 7 streams of income. We wasn't taught like, hey, you can have 7 streams of income in one product. Like, for example, like one of my units, I got it on VRBO. I have it on Gigster. I have it on PeerSpace. I have it on Airbnb. So I'm not just making money just off of Airbnb. I make money off of people want to rent it for a baby shower. People want to rent it for a podcast. People or do a podcast. People want to rent it to do a documentary.
You scaling it then.
You know, so you scaling it. So somebody want to do a holiday party. Somebody's booking it. One of my units for like $1,700 for 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. Like you know, to do a holiday party for they business. So once I started doing those different things, I was able to make way more money. So versus making $2,500 a month profit off of a property, now some properties I can make $20,000, $30,000 a month because I have it on different platforms. I'm not just focused on Airbnb. You know, like even some of these hotels, if you think about it, Marriott just not focused on Priceline.com. They're on Hotels.com. They're on Booking.com.
Expedia.
They're on Expedia. Yeah. They're on all these different sites. IHG, so they make multiple streams of income. Yeah. Not just off of one site, but different sites with that one room, that one hotel. It's the same thing. I'm like, even though I'm an independent businessman, I could be like these big companies and make a lot of money with one product, you know?
You just got to visualize it.
Yeah, you got to visualize it for sure.
Yeah, it's also your mentality and your mindset as well within the business world.
Right.
So what was your mindset like getting into real estate?
My mindset was like just being creative.
Yeah.
So I read a lot of books. Yeah. Robert Kiyosaki, you know, he invested in real estate. He wrote a book a long time ago with Donald Trump before he was the president.
Really?
And I think the book called, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest, it's one of my favorite books that I read back then. It was like, Why Do We Want You to Be Rich? It was like this, it was like Robert Kiyosaki wrote a lot of books that was like a spinoff to like Rich Dad Poor Dad, kind of still similar to Rich Dad Poor Dad. You know, but I was like, this book was kind of like on like a sister and brother to Rich Dad Poor Dad, but like kind of different, because it came from two different business male perspectives, guys that was like mega business guys in the world of real estate and business. So one formula that I took from that book that Trump said was when he did his hotels and his towers, Trump Towers and everything, he really put a lot into it value. He was like he didn't want it to look like a normal hotel. He wanted to add like nice gold stuff, or you come in nice chandeliers. He want people to feel good, and he always realized that separated him from the competition. So I took that same thing to Airbnb. I love interior decorating. I love designing. I love nice places. Let me do something nice. And then I could charge more. And I started charging more. And people start paying more
per night, yeah.
Like even with my rental properties, my long-term rental properties, I made it more nicer than a normal rental property. Like I put maybe a nice chandelier. The average person didn't put nice chandeliers in there. But people don't know you can go get a nice chandelier for like $200, $300. So it wasn't like breaking the bank, But it added a value when people looked and say, "Dang, he has nice stained wood cabinets, and wood floors, and he has porcelain floors in the kitchen that look like marble, but porcelain don't cost like marble, but it has a better look. But you're gonna pay a little, the same amount, a little bit more than you pay probably for like laminate floors, But I added that value to my rental properties, and I did the same thing with Airbnb. And it took my business to a whole nother level. I was able to charge $500 a night for some units, especially on a Friday or Saturday, because I added that value there.
So how'd you like I see you got it from your mom that she liked to decorate things and stuff like that. But how'd you get into interior design? Like where'd you find, the ideas of the themes and stuff like that, and what you're gonna, paint the Airbnb? Like where'd you get those ideas from?
Yeah, so then, I ain't gonna lie, honestly, I got it from a lot of magazines, like looking through magazines.
Oh, my God, okay.
Before, like interior designer magazines.
Yeah.
But now I go to social media got a lot. Like if people go to Pinterest, you can find different themes.
Yeah.
You can go to social media, period. And like if you type in designs or interior designs, you see different things, different concepts. And I like to go to art shows too, because you see different things there too. That can put a spark, and you like, yeah, I like this black and gold room. I'm gonna do a black and gold Airbnb. Even if it's a restaurant, because a lot of my things, people are like, man, this is crazy. How do you think about this? I probably seen it on Instagram, but it probably was a restaurant like lime green and pink. I'm like, dang, what if I did an apartment like that, lime green and pink? All I need is a lime green and pink, a lime green sofa or a pink chair, pink paint, pink, and I started painting my walls totally different. And people wasn't painting their walls before me at Airbnb. They like, man, I don't live here, so I'm not gonna paint it. Because what if I got to move out? I'm thinking like if I paint it, it's going to bring a lot of value, and I can be able to charge more because nobody else got their unit painted. So I started painting a lot of my units, ceilings and all. Like I paint the ceilings, sometimes the floors. Like I go crazy with the counters, cabinets. Even though I didn't own it, I was like, this is an investment. This is going to make me a lot of money. I need to put my money right here and go crazy with it.
So were you only focusing on Airbnbs when you got into that industry? Like, did you venture off into anything else?
Yeah, I was like heavy on Airbnb, bro. Like I was like, when I got an Airbnb, that was during the time like I got my credit right, like got my credit to like the 800s. So I started helping people with their credit too at the same time, but I was really focused on the Airbnb because I seen the money that it was making, and it was like a no-brainer to focus on this. Like the amount of money that was coming in easily, you didn't have to own a property. It was a no-brainer to focus specifically on nothing but Airbnb, even though I was helping people with their credit, being a credit coach. Because I wanted our people to like learn, like you don't need your money to do this. You can use the bank's money to do everything. Yeah. OPM was the best thing I ever tapped into because it's leveraging. Like I can keep my money over here, invest in the stocks, put it in a life insurance policy, whatever, and then I could just use the bank's money to create all these investments. If the pandemic happened like it did, Lord forbid, my investment is not my money; it's the bank's money. I can still sleep good at night.
Sleep good while the money you make, baby.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. I was saying
you the GOAT. Shit.
Yeah, that's one thing I always tell people: like, figure out a way to get your credit right, so you ain't got to be using your money. Because with me being an entrepreneur by the age of 19. I didn't know about credit then. I didn't know about OPM. I always thought you had to save your money to success, or you had to save then invest your money. I didn't know you can go get a credit card. Even Bank of America got a Bank America card right now where they doing, I think, like 20 months or something like that, 15 months.
0% interest.
0% interest.
Yeah.
0% APR. You know what I'm saying?
So, with Bank of America, like say like you do the 15 month 0% interest, right? And you get the credit card. Like some people have debt, like credit card debt existing. So would it be smart to do a balance transfer and put it on that card with the 0% interest so that you can start building your credit up? Like how does somebody get their debt off of their credit card?
So I would say the easiest way is to really money management first, because you could balance transfer, you can send money over here, money over there, but it's going to show your credit report that you still owe this amount of money to these creditors. Like, hey, you still owe $5,000. No matter if you transfer that from Bank of America to Wells Fargo, it's still going to show you owe $5,000 somewhere. So I always tell people to pay off that first. You know, you still could build credit with, you know, your secured credit card, another credit card, still build that, pay on time, but pay off that as soon as possible. Then go back to the banks and ask them for more money. Like, just don't be moving money around. If it still show up on your credit report that you still owe this amount of money, because you'll get approved a whole lot easier once you pay it off. They can see that and it's like, wow, you had a $5,000 or $10,000 balance for 8 months, 12 months. You paid it off. Yes, we're gonna give you $20,000 because we see you responsible with $8,000. So we're gonna give you $15,000, or we'll give you $30,000, whatever. But you got to be responsible and have good money management skills for sure.
Is there a way to hide your utilization rate within your credit card?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can for sure. So you can hide your utilization rate, like, you know, but it still comes back to what I'm saying is kind of like
you still have that money.
Yeah, you still got that money where you still have to show like you still like it's kind of like taking money out the left pocket and put it in the right pocket. Where it's kind of like you playing this game. Okay, I'm gonna hide it to have good credit, but you still gonna be at the end of the day you still owe this money. So it's like you kind of like, to me, it's like you lying to yourself. It's like you saying, okay, I'm gonna put this makeup on, I'm gonna put these clean clothes on, knowing I didn't take a bath. I'm just gonna do it on just for the photo, but I know when I take these clothes off, I'm gonna be stank as hell. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Where to me, honestly, it doesn't sit comfortable with me. You can hide your utilization rate. I'm not knocking nobody that do that. Well, let's get your body clean. Put some clean clothes on and really be fresh. Like you fresh. Like take the clothes off, you still fresh. You know what I'm saying?
So, say you don't have credit, say you don't have cash. However, you can go find somebody that does have the cash. How do you get into those rooms? How do you find that person?
Yeah, so you can go to websites like Zillow. See people that's like, or go to real estate. Go to Facebook. They have real estate groups. Find people that are just looking for tenants. They probably had their house listed for a while. They probably got abandoned houses that just sitting. You know, you go down to the courthouse and find abandoned houses that just sitting. Find out who the owner is. You know, call them up and say, hey, you know, I see you got this house. Are you interested in subleasing? Are you interested in getting a renter in there? Like, I'm interested in, you know, taking over the property so we can start making you money instead of you not making no money every month. So, you know, utilize those resources. And contact the owner. The worst thing they can tell you is no.
Yeah.
You know, but the more no's you get, the quicker you get into a yes. You know.
That's a good analogy. I like that. Seminars. Talk about seminars and masterminds.
Right.
What kind of people are in those rooms?
Yeah. So the people those rooms are the people that's thinking like you, or that people that's thinking on a whole other level. Or that want to think on a whole nother level. They got that ambition, or either they got the knowledge. A lot of times, most times, people don't have all the knowledge. They don't have all the information. But one thing about masterminds, you learn something from everybody in that room. If you want to open your mouth, networking.
Yeah.
So this person may know about real estate. This person may know about wholesaling real estate. This person may know about, you know, like how to save money, you know, with getting loans from the banks. So you can learn from everybody. So you walk away. Even if you walk away with one piece of information, that could change your situation, you know. So even with me, I'm always trying to be in the room, not trying, but I'm always getting in the room. I ain't gonna say trying because I'm getting in the rooms to learn more, because the more I know, the more my family is better, and the more I can go out here and teach other people that look like me, hey, this is what I know from this. You know, like, it ain't gonna hurt me from teaching somebody for free, going on Instagram, showing, you know, giving them the game, what I learned from being in the room. You know, since some more of us, now we more financially free because of Zoe or somebody like me got in the room, and now they sharing the knowledge.
So I see that you got the exotic cars, the big house. How does that help your audience? Like, I feel like those type of things keep your audience engaged. Like, they kind of got to see it to believe it.
Right.
So, so like, did you buy those things like out of pleasure for yourself, or did you buy those things to keep your audience engaged? Like, look, I got.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't care. I'm the type of person, I don't care what nobody think about me. Like,
Yeah.
end of the day, like, of course I'm gonna carry myself, respectfully.
Mhm.
But I don't care, like, people don't see me in a nice car, a nice house. Like, I did that stuff for myself. I really like nice things.
Mhm.
But I always read up on things like even Rich Dad Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki said that find out ways on how your assets can pay for your liabilities.
Mhm.
So even when I purchased those cars, Rolls Royces, I got with people that were shooting movies, people that were shooting videos. So I was renting my cars out, making money from them. Renting my Rolls Royce out, making $2,000 for a few hours. 4 or 5 hours. Even Rick Ross rented my car out for a Wingstop commercial. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they need a black Rolls Royce. Guess who they call? They call Zoe.
Yeah.
They knew Zoe had the car.
Yeah.
Even my Lamborghinis, people rent them out for video shoots or whatever. So I learned how to turn these things into assets from being a liability. But at the end of the day, I still liked them. But I was like, damn, it's so cool. I can have a nice car. I can have a nice house and rent it out for a video shoot. Rent it out for a commercial, whatever. Just by having something nice. So I got it for me, but I figure out a way for them to pay for themselves, so that it's not a liability. It's really an asset.
Do you put your cars on Turo at all, or no?
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore because of these people down in Atlanta drive crazy. So I don't recommend you putting a sports car on Turo in Atlanta.
Oh,
they
really?
drive crazy. You go across 75, 85. If you don't see an accident, it's unheard of. Any time of the day, morning, night. If you don't see an accident on the side of the road, it's uncommon. Like I have 2 or 3 of my cars totaled on Turo. My Maserati was totaled. My pink Benz was totaled. My Porsche convertible was totaled. And I'm not knocking nobody from doing Turo, but I'm like, Turo is a good platform. You got to know your city. I didn't know my city then. I'm thinking like, oh, the sports car look good. The Maserati look good. Let me buy it and put it on there. Yeah, it made money. But then again, it was a headache when it got totaled. Like, dang, this take away from my other businesses. But I had to understand, like, Atlanta is not good for a sports car on Turo. People gonna drive it. They're gonna ride it, and people down here drive crazy. You got to be a defensive driver out here. And if the person that's renting your car, they're not a defensive driver, good luck for you.
So it really just depends on your area there.
Yeah, it depends on the area. Like, some places you could get a sports car and it probably makes sense. Like, people not gonna be driving crazy. Like, they ain't got no sense. But Atlanta is a city where people just feel like, hey,
fuck it up.
Yeah, we're gonna mash out. We're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with those situations when your car gets totaled or something like that? Like, the Turo cut you a check?
Yeah, Turo to cut you a check, but Turo they'll cut you a check, but it's not like your insurance company. Like, you probably have to wait a few months. Like, I had to wait maybe about 6 or 7 months to get told to get my check. So while I was waiting, guess what? I still had that car payment with Wells Fargo. I had to pay every month while I was waiting on my check. I wasn't making money for that car because it's totaled. It was not like my insurance company would say, hey, we're going to cut you a check tomorrow so you ain't dealing with the finances from your lender or whatever. I had to cover that. So good thing I was financially good because what if I wasn't? What if I was an up-and-coming entrepreneur that didn't have money set to the side from whatever reason, and then now I had to come out of the pocket every month to cover this car note that I brought from my business that wasn't making me money,
So you don't use Turo anymore. So what platforms do you use? How do you market those vehicles?
I honestly market them through a lot of leagues that I have, build up a lot of, and a lot of people can find leagues in their city. If you're in L.A., you probably can type in, go to Instagram or Google or Yahoo and type in, video directors, movie producers.
Ooh.
A lot of these guys, they know people that are always looking for cars for, sets or whatever. And you can go to them and let them know, like, hey, this is my car. This is professional photos. If you ever need it, this is how much I charge an hour or whatever. Build those relationships up. And them people will call you, especially if you're in the right city. Like I say, L.A., Atlanta, a lot of people shoot every day here. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in L.A. and Miami, the same thing,
So you're renting them out privately. With Turo, you're covered under insurance.
Yeah, right.
So how do you deal with those type of situations if you're renting it out privately?
So I rent out privately. One thing good about renting out for, like I said, my Rolls Royce,
Yeah.
making that $2,000 or whatever dollars for a couple of hours, they're not driving it. They only sitting on the set.
Oh wow. Okay.
They only sitting on the set. Okay. The video set, you park it right there. You can sit in the mansion while they shooting the video or whatever. Go eat the food because they got food for the whole cast.
Yeah.
Go eat food, drinks, whatever. Or you could just have your assistant drop it off like I did before, and then they can bring it back, or you can Uber them back. I did that plenty of times, you know.
Are you present while your car is being rented as well?
Not a lot of times I'm not. A lot of times I may get a key to the producer. I may keep the key on me. It all depends on the scene. If they need to get in the car, they need to do this, they need that. A lot of times they just want to sit on the set. So I really, don't have to be present. Like for Rick Ross on, I wasn't present. Like I set the car there. A lot of guys, they were sitting on the set. They was like, hey, you can sit on the set with us. I was like, no, I had stuff to do. I was busy setting up Airbnbs. I left my car there. They said they needed it for that whole entire day. I came back that night and got my car, and that was it.
How's it going for you, though?
Going good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Getting a lot of leads?
Yeah, a lot of leads. It pay for itself. It's not like, oh, get rich, go buy all those Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis, get rich. But it pay for itself. Like, it makes me a good amount of money, so it makes sense. You know.
So, what's the number one vehicle, Lamborghini or the Rolls Royce?
About the same, to be honest. Maybe, honestly, I'm be honest with you, the Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce?
Rolls Royce. And learn this business. Good thing you asked that because nobody really never asked me that. Like, what's the number one car?
Yeah.
I think that's a good question because people would think like your Lamborghini because it changed colors.
Yeah.
You got these fast.
Yeah.
It's crazy looking. People a lot of times they want stuff that's probably normal looking, like a black Rolls Royce or a black Lamborghini, something where they can use
like classic, huh?
Classic things like, hey, if they got if the person got a red outfit on, that still can go with the black Rolls Royce. If they got a red outfit on, can't go with the blue Lamborghini or the blue Rolls Royce. You know, so the black or the white is more classy, so it's more easy to get rented out more for like shoots that I noticed. You know, of course they do like different blues and oranges here and there, but the black and white, like even they called me for a little baby video shoot one time. They did a white Rolls Royce, you know, they wanted a whole bunch of white Rolls Royces. They called my guy when they did RP Takeoff. They did Takeoff funeral. They needed black Rolls Royces, so they needed somebody, everybody who had black Rolls Royces.
Are you big into event spaces at all?
Yeah, of course. Like event spaces is a whole other lane. I'm just getting in right now, honestly.
Oh, really? Okay.
But
okay.
I'm in into it more on the, we got event spaces, but I'm really heavy into the spot where I got a mansion, and I make that to a quote unquote event space almost. Like you can use that to rent out for a baby shower. So I wouldn't necessarily call it an event space because it's still renting a mansion or a house, but it'll still be used. Like, oh, hey, they don't have to stay overnight, but they're gonna pay you just as much as Airbnb or even more. They'll pay you $5,000 for 7 to 8 hours to stay there, at your mansion,
And how do you market your mansion?
No market at all. Gigster.
Gigster?
So you don't have to even market. You don't have to go on Facebook, on Instagram, and tell people.
You just listed it.
Hey, book my spot. You listed on Gigster or Peerspace.
Gigster or Peerspace.
A lot of people only do one, do Peerspace, but I do both. Like, and you can easily one mansion in the right city, 60, 75K a month.
What?
You can make seriously, man. You want to show my phone on here? I'll show you. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I ain't gonna, ain't no. A lot of people on these podcasts probably
you gotta show me some. Show me some.
This lady coming in a few days. Like, look, how much she spent? How much she got for 7 hours? What that say on the bottom?
4K. That's
4K.
crazy.
She
what?
Really she spent. Look how much she spent.
Let me see.
She spent about 5K. She spent 5K, but I'm getting paid 4K because the app taking 1,000. But I'm not mad. Y'all taking 20%. Y'all brought me.
That's for a few hours.
I was there for 7 hours. What? And she hit me the other day, said she want to do 2 more hours, so she's going to pay another $1,000 for another 2 more hours. They want to come 1 hour early and 1 hour later.
Them clients are out there.
They're out there,
They
bro.
out there, huh?
It's all about you just having the right information, the right resources.
Yeah.
To know, like, because I got a lot of these bookings in my phone right now, like a lot of these bookings like this in my phone. So just imagine if you do 10 of these a month.
Yeah.
10 of these a month is 40,000. You can do more than that. It's not talking about the people that's going to book for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
People that's going to book for a podcast. People that's going to book for a movie.
Yeah.
This person doing like a corporate holiday party, like for a corporate holiday party where they want to do something different now. They want to do, a nice home. You know, they want to be able to like, you know, have food, have champagne or whatever, and then just leave. They don't need to stay the night. So guess what? I save money now. My bills is lower now. I got the Nest app. When they leave, I cut off my AC, cut off everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saving money. You know what I'm saying? And then guess what? When I want to stay there, for my family coming out for Thanksgiving, we got a free spot to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My family can stay in a mansion, with a glass house mansion, whatever, for free. You know?
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So somebody had to put the work in.
Yeah, you put some shit into perspective for me for sure.
Right.
So acquiring these mansions, are you focusing on mansions or?
I'm focused on mansions now, man.
Because the mansion's making the money, huh?
Mansions making the money. And then a lot of times you owning them. So I tell people you get an Airbnb, it's okay renting an apartment. It's okay doing that for temporary. But don't let that be your main goal of just continue to rent apartments. You don't own them. The whole thing is having ownership. You don't have to start off and have ownership. Like people, like you know, it's have a control first. Have a control over the systems. That's what I believe in first. Like have a control for Lyft. We talk about Lyft or Uber. They don't own all these cars, but they got control over the system. They can put people in place, and they still make a good amount of cut just by advertising and connecting people together. But they don't own. They own a platform, which is good because now they can sell. Lyft can sell that business. But they don't own the cars. So just imagine if you had a platform like Airbnb where you don't own these houses, or you have a platform like VRBO, you don't own these houses, but you have this platform where people can come at and stay at your spot. You don't own it, but you're leasing it, and now that you're making a spread, you're making a profit off of connecting people together or having that venue or that home that they can stay at. You know,
because it could be hard. Buying a mansion by yourself.
Yeah, it can be hard.
So you can just put some crowdfunding together or something.
Yeah, crowdfunding.
Put a group together.
Yeah, you can do that for sure. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm not opposed to crowdfunding if that's for you. And that's why people say, man, I want to partner up. And a lot of times they want to partner because they don't have the capital. Yeah. But going through what my wife went through, losing her company, sometimes partner may not be good because if they see something you don't see, now y'all bumping heads. Now they're like, hey, I'm gonna fire you. Hey, it's some bad blood right there. It's kind of like a beefing now, and I'll be beefing with the partner. It's good if you kind of can bring on, or maybe you can get a quiet investor where they don't have to have a say so in what you're doing. And sometimes the people invest, they want to feel like we want to see where the money is at, which is not bad because you invest in your money. But sometimes that can put so much pressure on the CEO because all these people saying, hey, what's going on with the return? We want to do it this way because your way is not working as fast as we wanted to work. Yeah. But you got patience, you got faith. You like, man, like, give me some time. Like I'm telling you, it's gonna work. They're like, nah, do it this. Oh, I know you want to put it in the Neiman's Marcus. Bump it. No, go City Trends. Go City Trends. No, I don't want City Trends. No, go City Trends. They got to check it right now. They're like, no, I don't want my brand to go that route. So I'm telling you, it's good to have your own money, build it up if you can, or either get the bank's money too. But you still got 100% say so on how you want to run your company, and you got mentors from being at these masterminds or the conferences that can help you in whatever you're doing. That can help you with your business. Like, hey, do it this way or do it that way. You learning while you're doing it, but you still got 100% control of your business, of your baby. You know.
So, the mansions, you're renting it out for parties, corporate parties, stuff like that. What are all of the ways that you can utilize the mansion for a profit?
Yeah, so you can utilize it a lot for profit. For number one is you building up equity every
your
month.
Home,
your mortgage now because you got a mortgage. So just think about it, every 10 years or every 7 years or whatever, when interest rates go back down, and whenever we know you can refinance it and probably pull out $500,000, $1 million plus. Because you refinance it, because now you own it, so you maximizing it that route, and then you start making more money because now you control what they can do or what they can't do. As far as like, okay, I could do a private party. I won't tell everybody to get a mansion, and then now you get a mansion, and now you got it like a club, and now your neighbors is like crazy, like upset because it's like crazy. You want to control it.
How do you deal with that?
Because you want to vet them out. Like before I could accept a lot of bookings, I always ask like, hey,
what type of partying or something like that?
What type of party you having?
Okay.
Say, hey, I'm having a baby shower. Most times baby showers, they're not inviting just anybody. It's people they know. Hey, I'm having a corporate party. There's people who work at their job or their business. Oh, hey, I'm having a birthday party. Okay, most times birthday parties you want to figure out? Because it may be an influencer or somebody who want to do a birthday party, but they want to charge. Say, hey, I want to charge. I want to sell tickets because I want to make my money back.
Ooh, at the door. Okay.
Yeah, I want to sell sections. I don't allow those. You can't sell no sections or no tickets at my home because I don't want to be ran like a club. I don't want to be ran like an event space. I want it to be ran like invite only because it's like I heard stories before where people was do that, and then now you got people in there fighting. You got people in there saying like, hey, the promoter sold me this section. Where's my section? They feel entitled now. Like when people buy stuff, they feel entitled. They feel like I need to get this. But if you're coming for an invite only, you don't feel entitled. You like, okay, I'm coming. And then whatever, if they got food, they got food. If they got drinks, they got drinks. You don't feel so entitled. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's less headache. And you can control it more when it's like their people. You know what I'm saying?
Do you accept house parties?
Yes. Like only invite only.
Have they ever lied to you?
No. They tried to a little bit, but I vet them out. So it's like they can't really basically get over.
What you mean by that? Like vet them out? Like
I vet them out. So even if they come out and do a tour, kind of like feel out what type of person it is, like what they doing a party. Like for example, somebody like, hey, I'm doing a party for BET. Well, this weekend I got my magazine company, so I'm like thinking like, hey, this is like he doing a party for his magazine. It's not for like his friends and family. So like, hey, you gonna be selling tickets? Yeah, we're gonna be selling tickets. Does this? I'm like, yeah, we don't allow that here. Oh man, I pay you more. Like no, I don't care about the money you pay us. We just don't allow that here because I already know what type of crowd he's gonna bring here. Like this is gonna be something crazy. Like the stories I heard about, so I just turn it down all the time, man.
Yeah, but it normally works out well, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And when you do it, you always want to have somebody that's there.
Oh, there?
There from, when somebody doing an event. You want to have somebody there.
Like
monitor? Not actually just sitting in the house, but maybe outside. And it could be like you could let them know, like, hey, I'm going to have my house manager here on present. They may be outside the door just in case y'all need help with anything. Or if they're going to be there making sure people park okay. Because if not, people sometimes – they don't know, so you want to make sure that your investments is protected when people having the events. Like they not parking on the grass, they're not parking on the side of the street.
On the grass.
Yeah, people are parking in your neighbor's yard and walk over to the house. Man, if I tell you these stories, bro,
that's crazy. They park in the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, they park in the neighbor's yard and walk over to your house like, hey, what's the problem? Like, nigga, you parked in this neighbor's yard, bro. Come on, you might get your car towed. Yeah. Oh, I'm just here for a couple seconds. Yeah, but you can't do that. You got to move your car. Like, okay, so.
What kind of logical thinking it?
But that's good. But that's good that you have a parking person there because you can put that inside whenever somebody book. Like, hey, it's $200 additional for the parking person, but that goes towards him being there for a few hours to make sure that it's ran smooth.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's like you sleep. Your neighbors sleep. They wake up. They see a license plate in front of them outside their window.
Yeah, like somebody parked in their yard.
What are some of the other crazy stories you hear about?
That, I heard about stories where homeowners had to pull out guns because they sold tickets to, the promoter sold tickets on Eventbrite, and now somebody beefing because their girlfriend got in a fight with this guy. Now nobody want to leave the house, so like that's why I don't do you can't pay me to have an event
because of the entitlement of others, though.
That's why others.
That's the mentality. Yeah. That's the mentality that they have. Yeah, that's crazy. I want to keep talking.
So you got to be careful. You got to be careful, bro, in this business because a lot of people say, well, "I'm having a gathering," but it really be a party. Say, "Hey, I'm having a little gathering. Or I'm having a dinner," but it really be a quote unquote party. So you monitor it more just by vetting out the person, and then also making sure that they leave a deposit. Couple thousand maybe.
Okay, just in case they mess up something.
Just in case they break it. And then people would know like they're going to take care of it because they left a deposit. A lot of times if people don't leave a deposit, it's like, oh, I don't care. Like, I paid. Like, they don't got my credit card.
They can't book until they send a deposit.
Yeah, send a deposit. Or they bring the deposit the day up. I tell them they can book it, but the deposit they got to bring the day up before we do the walkthrough. And we'll do a full walkthrough. I videotape my walkthrough with them and showing like, hey, like the walls look like this, the furniture look like this. If you see anything wrong, let me know right now while we videotape it so we can go back if we need to look at.
Okay.
So sometimes they may mess up your walls, and then you can say like, hey, now you owe me out of your deposit. I deduct X, Y, and Z because you messed up my walls.
But you have that evidence from the videotaping.
Yes. And then you can, whatever rules. Your rule may be no smoking on my property. And then your contract may say, hey, if you smoke on my property, you lose your deposit. The deposit may be $2,500. You smoke, hey, you lost that $2,500 deposit if anybody's smoking on the property. So, you always want to make sure that you're not strict, but you do, or you go by, you want to take care of your property. And the reason I don't want people smoking, because if you let one person smoke, then the other person going to feel like, hey, I can smoke weed. And now the neighbors smell smoke, and now, it may not be a good look for your home.
Not at all.
Not at all. If you want to smoke, you got to walk away from the property, like up the street, whatever. Like, don't do it not in front of the property, none of those things,
Okay, why don't you allow it outside of the property? It's because of the image?
Yeah, because of the image. Yeah. And then I don't want people to, I feel like if you do it one time, everybody going to feel like
they're going to do it,
You can have like 4 or 5 people outside smoking. Now your house smells like a weed house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a good look. To me, I always want to be, my main thing is being respectful to my neighbors as much as possible. Like, being respectful. So, I tell my guests, like, hey, you can, I don't mind y'all partying inside of the home, but make sure that you keep the doors closed if y'all can play the music. Like, keep the doors closed so the sound don't travel outside.
That makes sense. So, monitoring the property, you got to have you said a home manager.
Right.
How do you find those people? Like, is it literally security or somebody how does
a lot of times my security would do it.
Security.
And I train them, what to do and where to stay at and like how to monitor it so it runs smooth.
So you find like a security company, or you like
I have my
own security?
I have my own security, but you can find different security companies that do it, and you definitely want to vet them out to make sure that they're good people. Like, and then you also want to monitor yourself, if you can. Cameras all around your house, so you can hear, you can see, you can just be there, but not actually be there. So even though you got somebody on site, you still can see when other things is going on, around your house.
So you put your security on your property. Do you ever let anybody hire your security?
What you mean, like somebody outside?
Like if somebody needs security for their home or like a rental property, and can they reach out to you and get security?
No. I really don't. If they find him, they find him or whatever. But I really don't, because I don't want nothing to go bad. And then they like, hey, we got this from your security. This happened. Like, and then now I'm blamed for it. So that's why I probably wouldn't do that, to be honest. I did have instances where people I know close would use my security, or I would allow them to use my security. I wouldn't mind, because I know that person that's using it. So I'll always be cautious about who I do recommend or refer. Because I don't know, it may go bad on both ends. Like, what if they don't get paid, and now they saying like, hey, you refer me to this person, they didn't pay me, then now I'm in the middle, and now I got to pay this person.
That's crazy. How do you stay official, like legalized and everything like that? Like, do you own the home under your LLC?
Yeah, LLC for sure.
Why not your name?
Yeah, your name, because it's like it's more risk when it's under your name. Your LLC is up under your company's name.
Your protection.
Yeah, your protection and for the business, when you use it for the deductions, it's better for the LLC. Stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What if you did it under your name?
Yeah, I think the name is cool.
What can go wrong if it's under your name?
I mean, somebody can come directly after you, really, if it's under your name.
Everything you got, huh?
Yeah, everything you got for sure. So LLC is better, and that's why you got to be careful, because like even doing like pool parties and stuff, it's like it's a liability then. So you kind of want to be careful about certain things, because these people are on your property.
What kind of tax deductions do you get with rental properties?
I ain't gonna lie, honestly, with the mansions and stuff, I really just started this year. But I can imagine crazy amounts, because it's used as a business.
You're spending money on interior design,
right?
And stuff
Interior
like
design
that.
and everything, bro.
Oh, that's crazy. So, can they rent some cars on the property as well, or just
Sprinter vans, everything. They
Sprinter vans.
Right.
What you doing with the Sprinter vans?
I have luxury Sprinter vans, which they can rent those out. So like we have everything they need right there. Like,
you got to show
vendors, and they need
vendors,
bartenders, like chefs, all of that, bro.
How do you find those vendors?
I find them because they come to my property.
Yeah.
So when they come to my property for other events, I always get their contact, So I got a list of crazy heavy hitters to have a crazy party.
But that's to the convenience of the customer, though, with the vendors.
Right.
Like, you're not hiring the vendors and then making a margin off the vendors? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm not hiring. That's convenience of the customers.
Convenience of the customers. And how does that work? Does it work well?
Yeah, it works good.
Yeah.
It works good because it's like a service I offer.
They don't got to go nowhere.
They don't have to go nowhere.
Right
like,
there.
Hey, do you have a cook? Do you have a DJ? Do you have this?
Oh, you got a DJ too?
Right. So even when they book the house and they do an event, I say, hey, it comes with a parking person. So they like that. Like, hey, a parking person is going to be parking the cars. A instead of the event space, or instead of the host.
Mm-hmm. Where do you park the cars at?
I have a public parking like right across the street.
Oh, public parking.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not like in the neighborhood everywhere.
Yeah, not a neighborhood anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a walkable distance, maybe like a 45-second walk away.
35. And okay, how'd you get into this? Because I've never heard about this ever in my life. Ever.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's like my wife used to rent. Actually, I bought the house for my wife. The house, my wife used to rent houses like this all the time because she got a branding and marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
So what I ended up doing was, I was like, you know what? For her birthday, I need to buy her one of these houses. I was like, the worst case scenario, we can use it for Airbnb to make money. Mm-hmm. But like, we need to probably rent it out for photo shoots, videos, movies.
Mm-hmm. Movies?
Yeah, that's a whole nother word, man. We had a couple movies been shot there already. And the check on the movies is crazy, bro. Like, crazy. Yeah, but, yeah, so I got it, and I started doing it. I started putting on these sites like Gigster, Peerspace, even Airbnb, VRBO, and I put it for, like, a good price. Mm-hmm. People was renting. Even before I listed it, I got bookings for a movie shoot. For a video shoot. For Jermaine Dupri, and his music group came by, Division, and they rented the home. And I didn't even have it fully completed. Like, my TVs wasn't on the wall. They said, we don't care. Like, we just love the home. Like, we'll pay you X, Y, and Z for this house.
Mm. So the movie shoots, is it like production companies reaching out to you, or are you reaching out to them?
No, they reach out to me.
Oh, really? From the listing platforms?
Yeah, for the listing platforms.
Oh, really?
And they'll come out, tour, they'll take pictures, and then they'll go back and, take it to their team. And then if they want it, they'll come back and it's like, yeah, we want it. Like, this is our budget. Our budget is $80,000 for 5 days or whatever. Whatever their budget is. Everybody have different budgets. They might say, hey, the budget is $80,000. We're going to have 125 people here as far as the set.
That's crazy.
You
have any type of property management?
What you mean as far as?
Like the Airbnbs?
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, I have a whole team because we got so many properties. So I have a whole team, like cleaners, hosts.
Cleaners, oh my God.
That helps me run this whole entire business. Like maybe these cleaners may be responsible for this apartment complex. These cleaners may be responsible for this other one over here, or for this mansion right here. The mansion take about 6 hours, sometimes 7 to 8 hours to clean.
What's the importance of a team versus doing it yourself?
Important is you have more leg work. You got more people that can help you out. I always believe in paying people at doing stuff that you can easily do, like, and you do what you love to do. Like pay somebody to wash your clothes, pay somebody to cut your grass. Like, even though you know how to cut your grass and wash your clothes, that's somebody you could easily pay somebody to do. Even though you probably think you're saving money, a lot of times you're losing out on money because you're missing out on time. So delegate your time with paying people to do stuff that's easily could be done.
So that you don't have to waste your time on it? Or?
You have to waste your time doing it. You can really build a business or really enjoy doing something that you love to do. I really enjoy doing interior decorating. So most of my time is looking at interior designing, shopping for furniture, setting up a unit because that's what I love to do. But then again, I'm not cleaning because I can clean, but I'm not a lover at cleaning.
You're not gonna be in cleaning the toilet with the fabulous.
Right. So I'd rather pay somebody to do that.
Yeah. So where do you find for interior design shopping and stuff like that? Do you shop at regular furniture stores or?
I do a lot of stuff online. When the pandemic hit, it changed my mind frame of shopping online, like being smart, being virtual with everything, like with the couch, the furniture, the beds, everything I have now comes from online. Amazon, Wayfair, Etsy, all these different sites, Z Gallery, even for the nice pillows, come from online most of the time.
So interior designing. Let's stay on this topic. Do you design for like people as well, like other people, or you just for your company?
I design people as well.
Okay.
I think a lot of people that reach out, even when I was doing Airbnb, a lot of people reach out that I don't even have to make a flyer by the grace of God. That they'll come because they see my work, and now they want me to design for them.
And you get the themes from magazines and stuff like that.
Yeah, magazines, or if I go inside a nice restaurant, I may take a picture of the theme and say, "Hey, this look cool." Like this, and I add it to maybe my folders. I got a folder in my phone say Airbnb themes, where you will see a lot of cool things.
I see that you be taking a lot of vacations, Africa, Dubai.
Oh yeah, I love to travel.
How are those experiences? Talk about Dubai.
Nice. Dubai is wonderful. One of the most craziest places in the world. It's just nice to see nice things because then again, it's kind of like bring that spark. I can put that spark in your mind, like it's bigger than where you at right now. I think it's a whole lot bigger. You probably see it in your city, but you go to another city, you probably say, "Dang, like yeah, it's crazy out here." So,
what are the biggest things that you be seeing, like that, like open up your eyes, like damn, whenever,
like the restaurants, the skyscrapers, like the beaches, everything is like just different, you know. Everything, the experience is totally different, you know, in a lot of these places where it's like sometimes we caught up in a bubble. We don't know how it is outside the bubble. Or we don't know how outside it is of a box. We probably think we stuck in a box, but you never know you can go outside the box. And now it's a bigger box you can be in, you know, a bigger world.
How do you pay for these vacations? Like
Credit.
Credit?
Credit. That's a good thing about
flight miles, stuff like that,
yeah,
cashback.
the flight miles, the Capital One Venture card I got, the Capital One Sparks card, all these different cards. I got so many different credit cards. My Amex got so many points because I spend so much money on setting up these, you know, my business that I have accumulated these points that I can transfer them now to, you know, flights and transfer them down to hotels for free.
I see. You talked about an interview. You had a tiger on the back of your car. How was that experience?
Right, it was nice.
I saw you walking a tiger tail. Like, what the?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. But with me, I always try to do something different.
Yeah.
To get out of my comfort zone. I feel like if you used to doing something that you normally do, it's no fun. Like when you do stuff like having a tiger in the back seat or tiger in the front seat, now that's something different. Like, cause the average person ain't about to do that.
It don't scare you?
No, I ain't scared at all.
No.
You know, another thing that didn't scare me neither. The guy told me to. He was like, just stay calm. Just be calm. And I got feel that. Like, I took that like, man, you right. Be calm, because if somebody see you scared, it's like a football. You playing football, they see you scared, they about to take advantage.
They're gonna pick at your weaknesses.
Yeah, if you go to the worst hood in LA and you look scared, oh, you about to get ran through. You ain't gotta go look hardcore, but just be relaxed.
Yeah.
Just relax. The same thing with business.
Don't look paranoid.
Yeah, don't look paranoid. Just be relaxed.
Yeah.
If you paranoid, your customers can tell, your girlfriend can tell. Man, I ain't about to be with this Trump. I'm about to. Right.
Hey, so Africa. Talk about Africa as well, because that's the motherland.
Yeah.
That's the motherland. What do you see in Africa compared to like America?
Africa is very beautiful, and I really loved it when I went there, and I hated it. Hated it because I
hate thing.
No, I hated it. I didn't hate Africa. I hated that they don't show this good side of Africa that they show all
the media.
Media don't show the good side. Africa is one of the most beautiful places I've been on this earth. So I hated that they don't show it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, it is what it is. But I love it, man. Beautiful place, beautiful people. Feel like home. Culture good. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I may have to go before the end of the year, man.
Yeah, Africa.
Africa. There's so many dope places there.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see like to go to safari and everything like that?
I went all of that, bro. I was out there in the jungle, out there out there with Mufasa and everybody, bro.
Well, out of all your vacations, what was like the most scariest moment you've had? Like whether it was around like almost getting caught by an animal or like your scariest experience?
Probably in Bali, man.
On Bali?
Bali or Thailand? I think Bali.
What happened?
When I went in there with a bear, and that bear came after me, boy, I took off like crazy, bro. It was a big. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta post that on. I don't know if they got the full footage on my phone, but
yeah.
And that was
what
crazy,
happened?
bro.
You went into a cage with him?
I went to a cage, but I think he was hungry because they said that's around his lunchtime. They was like, man, he went after me, bro. And I got out fast, bro. Cause my wife took the picture first with the black bear. So I'm like, okay, you next, Zoe. I went in there.
And so you just went in there to take a picture with him there.
I went and take the picture, man. As soon as I was about to get close, he just jumped. Like charged at me fast. I got on through, bro. I left my Louis Vuitton flip flop. I only had one flip flop on. I got on through, bro. I think he can have that. I ain't lying, bro.
And they told you it was about his lunchtime. He was hungry.
I was like, why nobody ain't tell me? Why y'all got set me up for the okie doke?
He said, some goat?
Yeah. He wants a goat meat.
He smelt it on you, man.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, that's part of being the goat, baby.
Right.
I enjoy having you on this interview, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
You brought a lot of value to this platform. I learned a lot from you as well. Hope to do business with you later. Hopefully venture off into something. But you on the blacktop, you balling as you should. I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you for having me on here, King.
Zothegoat, baby.
Yeah, we here. Let's get it.